Fort Worth ISD is starting a new chapter this school year. The district has a new superintendent, Dr. Peter Licata, stepping into the role as Fort Worth continues under state oversight. This morning, he's joining us live to talk about rebuilding trust, supporting students and teachers, as well as the staff, and of course, his vision for moving the district forward. Dr. Licata, thanks for making the trip out east.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's a great day.
Talk to us about being just a few days away from this new school year. What can families expect on that first day, and how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, very optimistic. We had an amazing event with all our staff yesterday. But I think the public has to understand how much goes into that first day of school. If we're going to say that teaching begins that first day, you know, our bus drivers, we have an extra 15 sitting on the bench waiting, so no route is empty. We have the air conditioning going to be running this weekend, so we don't have any surprises about coolness because we just saw the weather report and it's not going to be cool out. You know, the facilities, the teachers have been training, the principals have been training. Everything's set and ready. You know, we're not stopping. This weekend's going to be busy. But the first day of school, we really expect the schools to have every student with a schedule. There will be a teacher in front of every student. We have 9 vacancies at this time. You know, a couple of them are like welding and electrical tech, which is very difficult to find. But we also have overhired. We've hired an additional district teachers, we call them, and there are 15 of them. So we will place them immediately in those spots. So we have a child sitting in a classroom in front of a teacher, which is really a remarkable thing by our HR, because usually we start with about 200, 250 vacancies every year. We are actually in the plus category, so we're excited.
I mean, there was a lot of conversation and headlines around about 1,000, right, who
Yeah,
left.
a little over.
And now, for you to only have 9 vacancies coming into the school year, a ton of progress. I think that's undeniable. But there's also some concern about unlicensed teachers in the classroom. The last report I saw said there were about 300 or so. There's been an application with the state to go ahead and move forward. What does that look like, and what kind of impact will that have?
Yeah, we're using the number 308 because that was the count at the end of July. You know, they're teachers. They have their degrees. They're just not certified. And some of those areas are unique. You know, it's hard for you to find a teacher that went to school to teach to be a welder, to be a network security. That's important. And they're coming back to their industry. I talked with one yesterday in the stands. He's been teaching for 5 years. He was a network security person for 30 years, and he went back and got it. We're working with every agency to get that, but you know, almost 60% of the districts in the entire state has that same exemption. And I believe there's almost like 40,000 teachers in the state of Texas that are uncertified. It doesn't mean they're unlicensed. They're just uncertified, and they're working towards it. I was actually one on my first year way back in the 90s, and I had to work towards it too, back before computers. So we were there, but we want everyone certified. Kids deserve a certified teacher in front of them.
Yeah, your chief of staff had a release not too long ago, just this week, talking about 8 schools that are doing so well. They've received some sort of autonomy. What does that look like, and what's going to be the difference for those campuses versus the rest in Fort Worth ISD?
There'll be some subtle differences. It's hard to recognize it unless you're on the front line. But what we're seeing is we're not going to in any way change how we deliver instruction. Cowtown 12, all that's going to be there. Our observations are going to be based on how teachers are delivering it. They'll have a little more flexibility in master schedule and staff scheduling. They'll have a little bit more flexibility in some other things. There will not be the flexibility of bringing in whatever vendor you'd like and whatever new curriculum you want. No, we'll be walking through that. It's not total release of everything, but it does give the other schools something to set for. Everyone needs, and we had to draw a line somewhere because these schools are doing amazing things. I mean, almost 100% of their kids are at proficiency. Right. And we're a proficiency chaser now. We're not chasing growth. Growth for educators is like just paying the interest on your credit card. You get a good report to the credit companies, but you still have this debt. We need proficiency. We need to pay down the balance constantly, and we need complete achievement for all our students.
Dr. Licata, anytime the state gets involved, it creates anxiety, right?
Agreed.
Parents, people in the community, they wonder what's going to happen, what they can anticipate this school year. And, you know, as a mom myself with kids in school, their education is the number one thing, right? What would your message be for families ahead of this school year? Because at least in the reporting, it does seem like since you were announced, appointed, the board has been put in place, it seems like some of that anxiety has been lifted. But what would your message just really quickly be?
I think there's many factors. Obviously, there's always politics involved. Education is just a focus of it sometimes. But more importantly, we know that we're going to face some challenges, but we also know what was happening wasn't working. It was working for some kids, and that's not what public education is about. Public education is an American ideal. It's not an ideology. And we want to make sure that every child walks in and gets that same education in every facility. What we also have to look at is my past history of success is about building culture, about building teams. And I think the whole 11,000 folks heard that yesterday. We need something sustainable. And in a couple of years when we're all achieving amazingly well, and it's everybody that did it, it doesn't have to be Pete Licata as a superintendent. It has to be someone who's just going to continue the system and let it run, because it's internal now. It's a culture of success, it's a culture of practice, and it's a culture of expectations.
Dr. Peter Licata, the newly installed superintendent in Fort Worth ISD, thank you for making the time ahead of school starting in just a few days.
Wonderful, wonderful, and thanks for not giving me a ranch donut.
Morgan?